right, what is up everybody? We are back with another one here. This one is going to be the new INSOMNIUM, and thank you so much Dr. Metal for requesting another INSOMNIUM, one of your favorite bands, and you've introduced me to them. They become one of my favorite bands, and it's nice to see. It looks like Johanna Kurkela, the wife of Tomas Jalapeno. Okay, good to know. You're saying Marcus Van Halla has succeeded in creating an incomparable song with tribal vibes from the Arctic Circle. This sounds like it's going to be very exciting. I believe the band's called Aria that she is in. I think I've heard a track from her. I also know she was the voice on Shoemaker, right? She has a very kind of angelic voice from what I remember. So this is going to be interesting. And if you would like to make a request, just like Dr. Metal did, please consider joining our Patreon. This is where you can send me requests. This is how you support the channel. This is how you support my wife's channel. I'm wearing the Griffin design of our Keep It Metal t-shirt line, and you can get that on HalfLifeSistah.com. These are all original designs made by my wife, HalfLifeSistah, and we do reactions together on her channel there for those who don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and just get right into this. I know their songs tend to be, well, this one's about 8 minutes, not too bad. Looking forward to it though. Let's check it out. Already out the gate. Make it official. I'm sold. Brother. Love the duality. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, man. So, like I said, hire her immediately. I know she has her own band. I know she's doing her own thing. Just what a great addition to a song like that. You can do so much more with it. And subject matter wise, it's just made me want to go rewatch Vikings again. Oh man. So like I said, I was already familiar with her voice, but not so familiar that, you know, I can claim to really understand it. And here was just, it was even better than I expected. And I like the way they utilized it. Also utilized it more than I expected. And just the play, like I do dig the Beauty and the Beast kind of vocals. I really do. And this was such a nice weighted, because, you know, I get why people don't like get growls all the time. It has to speak to your spirit. The growl, first of all, is such a natural, it's a natural sound, you know. Most animals make a growl of some form or another. It's very primal. And when you are angsty, for example, like in this song, where this is the kind of song where, because, you know, particularly in this region of the world, their belief system was still pretty intense. They believed in a lot. And it's, you know, the conflict of religion sometimes, right, can really mess with your head. So when you feel like this banished to darkness, cast in damnation, mercy of God, ? Right? It makes you feel a certain kind of way that you really need to release. And the projection of the growl vocal is that release to me in my ear, you know, the way I hear it. This is how I see the world. This is how, you know, my soul, if I had one, sounds like, right? And again, I've tend to not like to repeat myself, even though I do a lot. But I do have to respect and recognize that people aren't going to see every reaction I've ever done, so you're not going to know things that I've said in other reactions, you know? Even if you just watch the reaction, but you don't watch the commentary. So, you know, but in Lorna Shore, right, I go 45 minutes into mental stuff, all sorts of mental stuff, you know, and I talk about the pain of reality and understanding it. I also point out a beautiful side, right? So there's love, and there is, of course, the risk of love and the loss of losing that love. The loss of love is almost guaranteed. And I say almost because death, of course, is always inevitable, right? But whoever dies first is the one who, I don't want to say wins, but is the one who doesn't have to suffer the pain of loss. Because once you're dead, it's fine. You don't feel shit. So it's the person left behind that's risking it all for love because of the pain of losing that person. So, you know, I talk a lot about that in there. So, but the love part, her sweet vocals, you know? And I've been thinking about vocals a lot lately ever since I did Love Bites, because I was trying to understand, like, I understand Love Bites, Asami is a decent vocalist, but why I wasn't connecting with it. And I really do think it has to do with this factor. It's the factor of, what does my soul sound like? And how do I relate to this world? And I don't relate to it in that level of kind of higher pitch happiness and joy. And it's not just Asami. It's you know, the closest band you can compare them to is obviously Dragon Force. While I love Dragon Force's dual guitar playing and craziness that Love Bites also has, I'm also not crazy about their new vocalist. The vocalist before that, the guy who did Through the Fire and the Flames, like Through the Fire and the Flames is literally one of my favorite songs. Even though it's completely out of my genre, it's like Painkiller. It's the perfect personification of that sound in a song expertly made and perfectly put together. That song is a perfect song. You can't improve it in any way, shape, or form. But their newest vocalist doesn't connect with me. It's not how I sound on the inside. And I think that's what it has something to do with that. You know, it has nothing to do with whether or not they're a good or bad vocalist. It's about how you connect with it on an emotional level. And I just happen to connect this way to this music and to this vocal, but also to her vocal, because even though it's a lighter, brighter, prettier vocal, there is still a majesty to it and a sadness to it and a darkness to it. You know what I mean? It's not just pure bright, and it's certainly not just pure happy. It's light in a set of darkness, but it's a light that has just a different emotional weight that helps, that is my impression of what beauty sounds like. Cami from Oceans of Slumber is another good example of what light can sound like, because she has tons of darkness layered in her vocals. Floor, obviously another good example. So it's not about bad or good, it's about how it really hits your soul and your spirit. That really determines how you feel about it. And I think some people just don't have that growl, that angry spirit, and that's okay. Like, I never judge anyone who says that they just can't get into growl vocals. I get it, because again, we are not all the same. We do not all perceive the world the same, and we certainly do not think the same. And that's totally understandable. But for me, this brings a tear to my eye because it's relating to me on such a deep level. I can hear the angst, I could hear the frustration, I can hear the maiden being accused of witchcraft. Like, I don't know how often people think about stuff like that, but I think about stuff like that all the time. Innocents being killed over stupid, fake fantasy stories. I think about that all the time because it's still happening to this day. So I never, part of my dance with reality, part of my commitment to reality is to always be thinking, have this stuff in the back of my mind, which can get a little weighty. So yes, sometimes lightening it up with a nice bright vocal like this does help. Loved it. Loved how it made me feel going back and forth between his vocals and hers. Absolutely love that. And just as a side note, In Flames being my favorite band, when you give me those light, clean choruses, yeah, you're gonna win me over. Of course you are. Of course you are. How can you not? So yeah, that was also a great touch. I love how you put this song together, guys. Thank you, Dr. Metal, as always. We're here, as my wife likes to do. We're here, girl. So this was great. This was absolutely great. Love this song. Something I keep forgetting to do lately. We need to put this in a playlist. Ooh, man. I mean, typically if you put a tear to my eyes, I would say You're Almost Magic, but it like I said, it needs to also make me feel truly godlike. So, but this was 100% unequivocal excellence. So this is going into the excellent playlist. This was absolutely phenomenal. Congrats, guys. I'm also going to double up on it in the approved melodic metal because I definitely want to hear this song multiple times. Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Metal. You know how we feel about you. All right, take care of yourself, girl. See you on the next one. As for everybody else, come on, guys. Join the Patreon. We got to get it to 500. Free raffle. This is how you're going to keep us going. Buy me a coffee thing. If you guys just hate Patreon and you want to support me some other way, go ahead and buy me a coffee instead, okay? And yeah, take care, guys. Love you all.